whatever can bring unity of our people. For us to be able to have a reputation for our tribe. That is what I want. He doesn't need to apologize to me.
And in the same
but sincerely, he don't need to apologize.
Ura TV, Omegoi. Ura TV, mi shuboka dem wogede. Achuluka alkible doma lulalo madoki 21st century. Kabo kumagwa kumatuabi kama nugo kumaniki narida tobi. Doma lule lugo economy achuluka wimi. Politics by madoki governance. Politics trilogy governance. Politics shape ma cheki adone wefi jabede. Ubi kefi jabele jea eki shere toba madoki governance. Madoma chi governance le. Madoma chi nyonyo. Madoma chi kenki wegu aki dukbe kide. Enini omipayi eneka anyachuluka ikuka ojie ikuja magbadufu. Big madoki special advisor or special assistance to the governor alwek malekuman empowerment. The House of Assembly onumeji. Ubola jabe tate togane shenek ma fo aka ke he chenyonyo. Aboka aka ke chenyonyo. Onugbo npola nko duere nse dane yana nko nsele se na tolu konpo nse oni pon soro ka emi oje eyin ni nka ko luka ka se oje le ago togba le ikola nki lugbo anoru le idomalu la ke supewo chat na bi oji social media Kogi East politics. The most used word now is reconciliation. Is the reconciliation in progress? Is the reconciliation ongoing? But the pictures are everywhere and comments, and people are throwing at each other. Honorable Friday Sani Makama. We call it reconciliation or J. To learn what I be doing, we are TV. Me subscribe to YouTube channel there. Video kadama she complete version idomo mego. Meloti Facebook metuabi. Mengoroti Instagram. Adomo. Udi nko Sunday atabo. Melikari koki mabo jijigen. Nada via.
Ura TV.
Ndo mishe boku madakini me doma gumi. Obe Friday Sani Makama Honorable Doctor Chief Agba Olaikoi. Nago. Koje kumikbe shuluka. Umejuka kuluka kashe amunewu she gonyo amunewu she kolo ojun. Ingini ikoje shule kaka idupe kashuluka. Ingini omikake liemi kashuluka. Uluka kashoje she kala nkilube ngoru kalu abu mapwi Kogi East or Kogi politics kalu akikpo dama. Ubik mafi politics shepa governance ki ngochere toba uluka kumikbe she ojiede. Photoshoot dubojoji bikumikbe shulukale Nikishi deputy governor don't reconcile any deputy governor igbele amashi deputy governor igbele meji ma don't reconcile photo ma sheju bodu olugbe ege won ki kere bi Nikishi deputy governor igbele we pon ma don't shuluka komi galashi event ofeje emi abo mama lima kuma jibaketi mama ta machine jibaketi reconciliation le ngoru le amedoma ngoru atichupe especially Kogi East.
Thank you very much, Sanda Tabo. Abo aigala megba me olodudu me oloroka gbodu kenene de kokide megba me ni tirumi. Sanda Tabo enikene uche ka ojole ka kini icheun ka je ka changoru oje ogecha papa mene father genuine reconciliation. Then it will be good. It is possible. We can achieve the target of uniting our people. But it must be genuine. It should not be reconciliation on the top of our lips.
No, because when you say genuine,
yes.
Kikwe fedo wa. Mama shanetan, baka mashane, ishanetan mashane ili. Ali keniki uwe uchi anke uwe ke umeishe genuine, baki genuine.
Kanedu madomo. Kumianedu madomo. Kabo igala. Kuma achomete.
Neduma where honorable
ye ko neduma domo ye kamoma kuma nenyi kuma gbeju kamo abogijo nema kuma neke mduma ge ingodomo ge ye mi ko neduma chika kini ichenke ro abodi achola ekilo tu gbajuma nyachologbon abodi achola u gbajuma anyachologbon Ajuma la chojoji abodia. Angoru le changoru ojenyi de. Changoru oyoge chade akanya komi pabo ane bakaide. Todu ichene kamene fado hypocrisy. Now I think kakini hypocrisy chali aboigala because chengu kakini hypocrisy chali aboigala menungo de funde. Eneke chola gui eneke nya cholo gubo chojoji. Ucheka ojole kakini endu kachola asamoma ye gala kukuma de fun imudola keke kumaneke ngoru. Ama ukuli efun imude onlele. Todu nene duke pamayen organo lui kinike dubayen. Taele organe kidei. Ache nekeche kangoru amuda ngore kiko edwa. Yo jenyi auche enka akale ododo ajara kun. Etekichi kukakini omiche ma anamoma kumanenyi kabogijo nema chema ngore kichangoro gechade. Abajoy, I give it to my brother, Chief Edward Onoja.
Okay, former deputy governor.
A former deputy governor of Kogi State. Yeah. And I also give it to my senior brother, Honorable Achuba. Because it's not easy. It's not easy because as at the time my offend Olamai. One way or the other, their families are affected by that differences that came. In short, generations were also affected by that crisis.
Generation? No, because I heard the deputy governor, the former deputy governor, Chief Edward Onoja. So it was the differences is between them. If you go through his press release, there's nothing like okay.
That is why
that is you cannot just expand it and do share community. Family is a personal thing.
That is why Ukakangoro Kanyache should be a genuine Angoro there, not Angoro on the top of our lips.
I don't understand.
That does not reflect our mind.
How?
For example, you are now alluding to the fact that it is a personal problem between them. It's not true. It's not true.
I'm not part of the problem. I'm not part of it.
I was a principal officer of that government as at the time of that crisis, and I know that it goes beyond the two of them. I was a principal staff. I was the majority leader of the house as at the time of that crisis, and I know as a fact that it goes beyond the two of them.
But it affected in any way.
It affected me. I'm from either federal constituency. It affected me when my own brother is being removed from a position, a sensitive position of the position of deputy governor of a state. It affected me. It affected the people of Ibaji. It affected the people of Umale Ward, where Honorable Achuba comes from. So it's beyond the two of them. So that's why I say I give it to the two of them for being able to look for a meeting point. However, that is not the genuine kind of reconciliation I advocated for in your studio. It's okay. Honorable Achuba, that I know very well, has his own deficiency in what led to that crisis. I'm not holding Edward fully responsible, because one thing that made John the Baptist the greatest man born of a woman is not because he was miraculously born than Jesus Christ. The reason is that even in his mother's womb, he had already seen Jesus as a savior. I was there from the beginning. Incidentally, it was just the four of us, Alhaji Ayabelo, Edward Onoja, Achuba himself, and myself. The four of us were in the meeting that made Achuba deputy governor. Because Alhaji Ayabelo did not make the mistake of not inviting me as the majority leader of the house to come and partake in that meeting. And it was in that meeting, Alhaji Ayabelo revealed to me that he doesn't know Achuba. At that time, I was upstairs with him, with Chief Edward Onoja. And he revealed to me that he doesn't know Achuba from anywhere. That it was Edward Onoja who brought Achuba. And that if the Achuba that he brought is okay by you, it's also all right by me. I said, no, sir. Achuba is my senior brother and is my senior colleague. He was in the assembly before me.
Served in the assembly there.
Yes. Okay. He was in the assembly before me. He was a former deputy speaker. So I hold him to a very high esteem. And there's no way I would want to have a descending voice that in a thing that relates with Achuba. That was my comment in that meeting. But he said they should invite, I haven't heard from me. He said they should invite Achuba. Edward called Achuba. Achuba came up. The four of us. And in my presence, Alhaji Abelo told him that since he does not know you and Edward brought you, he hopes that you are going to be loyal to Edward. And as at that time, Edward was the chief of staff to the governor. I say, Your Excellency, this particular observation and comment, will you give us few minutes so that I can also talk to my brother that he will not allow any issue to erupt between him and Edward? Yabelo said, Alhaji Yabelo, the then governor of Kogi State, said, okay, I am giving you 30 minutes. What I'm saying, I'm calling him so it can be verified. And he said, I'm giving you 30 minutes. Go and have your atete and return back. We went down. I called my brother aside. I said, please, Edward, few minutes. I called my brother as an elder man aside and I said, please, did you hear what the governor has said? The governor said you must be loyal to Edward Onoja who brought you. Are you going to do that, considering your pedigree and your person that I know? And my senior brother, Chief Achuba, said, no. Don't consider my pedigree anymore. I want to bear this name before I leave this earth. And at that point, I said, okay.
So you are the mediator?
Yes, I mediated.
That meeting.
Yes, I mediated.
The meeting.
I mediated.
When you initiate that meeting, the three person meeting,
yes.
They are tete.
Yes, after the governor.
And then
I needed to clarify from him, looking at the kind of person he is. I know Honorable Achuba to be a radical, to be a man who fights for freedom. I know him to be a very strong character. So I was scared of what the then governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Abelo, said. That are you going to be loyal to the chief of staff who brought you? So I needed to clarify that.
Even you going too far from Olake Edward Ka.
Yes.
Edward Boji Pashubabin.
Yes.
He took that. Yes. You see what responsibility of it.
You see what
so then I will give it to him that is genuine.
You see what I'm saying? You may give it to him that is genuine.
Yes.
But I'm telling you the nitty-gritty of what I know about what transpired and the reconciliation we are clamoring for.
So there is, for you, it's not what you desire, you demand for. It's not what you're desiring. It's not what you want to see.
This is just one aspect.
Okay.
We are talking about one aspect.
Okay.
One aspect of it is not the matter that has to do with the crisis in Kogi State under the watch of Chief Edward Onoja does not end at the deputy governor, removal of the deputy governor. It does not end at that. I was also removed from the State House of Assembly.
By your colleagues remove you? My
colleagues removed me, but orchestrated by Chief Edward Onoja. I can tell you comfortably.
How?
I will prove it. I have my proofs.
But he was not the governor then. He was not the deputy governor then. He was the chief of staff.
And
you are in the assembly with your colleagues.
Everybody knows that Edward was a de facto governor of Kogi State. When he was the chief of staff
to remove you.
And when he was the chief of staff to Alhaji Abelo, everyone knows that he was a de facto governor of Kogi State. There is no need to begin to contest what is real. Everyone knows. I was removed from the State House of Assembly because I simply moved a motion over non-payment of salaries of workers of Kogi State. That was my offense. I think it is time for us to say the truth, and that is why I'm ready to speak this truth out. If not, what I have revealed to you here has to do with some privacy that should not be heard by anybody. But I'm saying it because a time has come for Christians to worship in spirit and in truth. This is not the time to lie. We are talking about a particular people, a particular tribe about to go into extinction. So it's not the time to lie anymore. It's the time to expose the truth so that we can properly bring ourselves together, reconcile ourselves. I think one of the major sins that Alhaji Abelo have committed in Kogi State is the fact that he appointed my brother as chief of staff. Chief Edward Onoja.
No.
I will prove it
for you.
I will prove
for you. Edward is not regretting serving with his twin Assamese brother.
I will prove it to you. I will prove it to you.
And there was never in any way that His Excellency Abelo will have any written or in a statement that I regretted working with this young man.
So it's not about you. I'm sure you are not going to be like any other media platform that will not allow the real story to be told.
Okay, please. We are all here.
So I can tell you why it was an error for the sin of Alhaji Abelo is the appointment of Edward. Let me be honest. In fairness to Alhaji Abelo, in fairness to him, I can tell you that I was informed about the appointment of Edward Onoja to become the chief of staff.
So they knew before they knew they initiated the project together.
Yes,
Edward is the strategy of the project.
I am not.
Then you are still with PDP working with the governor, Captain Idris Shalawada.
Yes.
So you are not part of
correct. You are correct. But before his appointment,
yes, sir.
Alhaji Abelo, because at that point, Alhaji Abelo has been announced as the governor of Kogi State. At that point, that was when his name was used to replace late Prince Abubakar. Let me tell you, at that level, Alhaji Abelo was looking for principal officers of the state that can work with him. I was the first to be approached. And I told him I would have been happier for I was working for a young man to become governor of Kogi State, but via the PDP and of Igala extraction. But because I am not God, another young man has come in, but from the Ibira extraction. I will give you my support. But I do not want a situation where you will impress on me to decamp from my party to the other party.
I think for you, I will give you that because I read a broadcast, a release after a day after Captain Idris Shalawada left office. Continue.
And he told me in my presence, right there, that Ohinoyi of Ibiraland just left him. That Ohinoyi came to impress on him, not to appoint an Igala man as the chief of staff, but that to prove to me that he has a bond, he has a mindset about the Igalas, and he can never betray the Igala. He is going to announce Edward Onoja as chief of staff before Ohinoyi of Ibiraland will get Okene. And it was that fateful day, that same day, that Alhaji Abelo directed the announcement of Edward Onoja. That is why I am telling you that I was informed before he became chief of staff. Abelo was only trying to explain to me, to underscore the fact that he is not ready to go with his kinsmen. That everything that is going to happen in his government will be in the hands of the Igalas. He gave that level of trust to our own brother, Chief Edward Onoja. Unfortunately, Edward was unable to manage it. Now, you are talking about personal relationship between Edward, or personal fracas between Edward Onoja and Chief Simon Ashuba. Assuming what you have said is anything to go by, or his press statement is anything to go by, assuming it is so, Edward Onoja goofed. He came to lie to the public again when we are seeking for true reconciliation. How can you say election proscribed under a chief strategist that he called himself? How can you say such election that everybody is aware of the level of violence, killings, maiming that took place over time in Kogi State? How can you return back in 2025 and make claims that election proscribed by you as chief strategist was without any incident? The burning of my sister Salome Acheju in the morning was done when? It is true that Edward may have not participated in that killing and burning of my sister. It is true. My own removal was under the supervision of who? am aware that Chief Edward Onoja had to take the extract of the House of Assembly to present to the governor and inform him that he has executed the project of removing me from the House of Assembly. What about the burning of my farm? What about the burning of my farm where millions of nairas was wasted? What about the killing of my farm manager, Adebayo? Was under when? And under which election? Several of them that I cannot count. My dear brother, if we are talking about
so what you are saying now is that let Edward Onoja come in the same way, come back to you again and say, okay, Honorable Friday,
it doesn't need to come to me.
Please forgive me.
It doesn't need to come to me.
And start begging for it.
Nobody needed to bow to me.
So what have you
This
saying?
is not what I'm saying. But let it be a true reconciliation, because during my struggle for the liberation of my people, for example, in Odolu Southern Reserve, that was illegally occupied by the two sons of Ataigala, in the course of that agitation, there are times the young people will take a particular action even without my consent or without properly informing me. So, but it was in the course of that struggle. So I took responsibility for all. This is what a leader should do, and not to come to the public space and begin to lie and need the calamity that is befalling us.
So what do you advise Edward Onoja to do now?
It should be genuine
and come back to you and say, okay.
It doesn't need to come to me.
To go to
for example, another example, Edward Onoja lied to the public that he can deliver Kogi State. Is he not lying? This is still yet further attempt to sink the Igala race. It's further attempt to sink the Igala race politically.
How?
How will Edward, which of the election has Edward ever won in his life? That he will now give the promise in a state where we have a governor of a state, we have a former governor of the state that is popular, positively or negatively, very popular in Nigeria. We have a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from the same area of the state, and you, Edward, can deliver Kogi State. How? How? This is why I said this lie is no longer important.
But Edward did not say, I'm going to deliver Kogi State alone. He said, my assignment now is to working for my principal, and his principal is the present president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and his task is to work to return him come 2027.
Now I know that Sunday Tabon is trying to be biased. Now I know that you are trying to be biased.
You cannot just come and tell me and say,
Sunday Tabon, you see,
I am not.
Sunday Tabon, I want us to be genuine. Let us not bring our professional prowess into a meaningful project of Igala reconciliation, please. I beg of you. Because we'll be getting it wrong again. And we will not be able to achieve this result. That's why Egbado Kajo as Igala people, we cannot tell ourselves the truth. This is my problem. Some of us who are major victims of Edward's chief strategies of politics of Kogi State. Okay, look at the differences between Alhaji Ayabele-led government and the current governor of Kogi State. For example, you see, when you create a gangsterism from the beginning within a community of people who are enlightened like the Igala people, you create a permanent impression in them. Whereas government need to put the people on the right path of confidence. But in this case, no. When he was the chief strategist, he started up the government of Alhaji Ayabele with gangsterism. So that created a permanent impression within the enlightened Igala. So
the people, the enlightened Igala, the elite, became completely disconnected with the government of Alhaji Bello-led government. Now, you can see the difference. The current governor of Kogi State had decided to be decent from the beginning. And you can see that a lot of elites are now being tempted to believe that Ododo is a good guy. Ododo is a good government. Any little thing Ododo does now, they see it as a government that is doing well. This is what I expected, and that's the kind of advice I gave to the chief strategist at that time, and he refused to listen. And now we are talking about, as a people, let's forget, and drop all the grievances we have against ourselves, and let us move on.
Another version of,
and I'm seeing another version
of one
non-genuine,
not being genuine.
That's it.
And the person you saying is Edward Onoja. We'll go on break, and when we return, we'll continue. Kokida adoti break. Awu Mikuluka Kamora Kachaligala Honorable Friday Sami Makama Kene Kenefu Enefu Muruda Tenefu Alu Neyojo Mune
NFO Minana NFO Chone
Daka Kolana Kankili Akimenefu Butagba Ilaka Igalaka Aloti break Kukamda Bia Achulu Katoba Sunday Tabla Kola. Okay, to Edomshe Boku Magaki me Doma Goa Edomeki Babiano Lukangi ni na Ridalo NFU na Wefu ina Tabali Megba na prepare mind ya kakini ura TV ishi to be galaketen erida lo or erida and you could do ka kenefu emi mema kakicha wekete akola nwi abwele ishaka akola nwi ke mugala duka mdu ogede kamago hu aturinyon ashegbeju ashe makado machile. So Honorable Makama Mipong adio luka Makama agba lukai bokashalo she makakini eshe mgbokelo eshe memke kai so do she dey jabe kwakwe me.
Yes.
Okudoku na akwa de na kakini na ugbenedu ere kadanen akichukbe kola kide o makai, you know, eshe gonu na House of Us in Kokeshi essay on youth empowerment.
Yes.
In Kokeshi member House of Assembly on Meiji. Now, I was discussing with somebody recently, one woman, and the woman came to me and said something that in coming 2027, she have a political party already. And then said, okay, what is the name of your political party? And do you know what? Guess what she told me? She said, Princess Zara Mustafa Audu is my political party. I didn't say how. And she said that this is a woman that helped her family, her husband, to get space for his place of work. And for that the woman is a political party. And I say, whoa. So for you to handle position for young people, to empower young people for, I think, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, or 2, and House of Assembly for 8 years. And in the last election, 2023 election, and there is no young people coming out to say, no, he has empowered me, he has helped me, I'll be with him. That shows that maybe your scorecard, you did not perform up to expectation. That is, you did not do well. Honorable Sani Makama, 2023 election, Google, negativity is what you will see accrued to your name. Is a betrayer, is a saboteur, is a destroyer, is not a man of peace. What do you have to say about that?
Well, you see, we are in democratic society.
Even to people you have helped.
We are in a democratic society. Everyone is entitled to his opinion.
Even the young people that are empowered.
But I must put it to you that you are yet to put the right records on your platform so you can see the scores of this man that is seated here. When I was SA Youth Empowerment, I can beat my chest to tell you and to inform other listeners now to counter me that I established the first pilot scheme of skill acquisition center in Kogi State, which no successful SA Youth Empowerment could handle. And I can tell you in there are thousands of youths that were trained in various fields of skill. I took Kogi State government to partner with Salem University. And the young people who had no certificates, haven't passed through the skill training, had the certificate that they are using in various establishments to work today. I trained several of them. Some of them are working in reputable oil companies today. That is one aspect. Again, when I was in the House of Assembly, not a room of assembly, when I was in the House of Assembly, my first 2 months in the House of Assembly, I have built primary school blocks across my local government. I built in Igalamela in Ajaka. It is verifiable. Ajaka people are listeners in this program. They can say no to what I have said if they have a counter. Don't forget, the last interview you granted me, I told you that whatever I say here, anyone who is a victim of death in an election that belongs to me should come here and say, Makama killed my brother. And I said, I challenge you to find out this and let us explain ourselves. You will not find one.
But for now that they are watching you after this interview,
you will not find one.
Again,
let somebody counter that I did not build primary school blocks in both Igalamela, Ajaka axis and Odolo axis. Let somebody come to counter that I did not build clinic, including a clinic that you can verify in Egbolo. That's the only existing clinic in that community, in that part of Igalamela. And I did not just build the place, I equipped the place and I pay salaries of the workers up till I left the House of Assembly. Okay? The only market in Odolu today, the only market, we don't have 2 markets in Odolu. What I came to meet was an old dilapidated market. I built a new brown market in a location that was decided by my forefathers, close to the main road. If you go there now, it's like it is created like that. I was the person who built it. I single-handedly built the market and donated it to the local government. I built similar market in Epoloko. I built similar market in Akpanya. I built similar market in Ajaka. The records are there. I did not stop at that. I have built palaces for my chiefs. I've built a house for the most oldest man in Odolu as a palace where our old people gather to take decision of peace and unity of our people. I have renovated, I was the first person to renovate the only secondary school in Odolu, Odolu Community Secondary School, and procured a bus that will convey students of that school from their houses to the school. I am the only member at my time that built a primary school that I named after my godfather, my political godfather, Ibro. It is still in existence today. Ibro Nursery, Ultramodern Nursery and Primary School in Odolu. Among other empowerment programs for the youth, motorcycles, tricycles, among others that I cannot mention. Igalamela, Odolu people are listening to me. Let one of them come to say, Elder Friday Sani Makama has lied. He did not build a clinic in Egbolo. He did not build a primary school in Ajaka. He did not build a market in Ajaka. He did not build a market in Odolu. He did not build a market in Akpanya. Let that Igalamela Odolu man come to oppose to me. Let it even come from the opposition party. I don't mind.
Friday Sani Makama, I think you mentioned all. Which party are you part of now?
I am an APC chieftain.
But your picture is not seen anywhere around Glass House, Lokoja. Stakeholders meeting.
Luckily,
I not see your video. Your picture is not anywhere.
Luckily, it's an opportunity again to correct the wrong. My last outburst, people call it outburst. I don't call it outburst. What I did in the last interview I granted to you is a matter of a person that has a principle explaining himself. The meaning of what I said about my governor not going to get crash or not going to the house of the former governor to put my mat on the floor to see him or to wait for him does not mean that I am no longer in APC. That does not mean that I do not no longer belong to the GYB political family. It's a different thing. As I speak, I've not seen the former governor for months, for several months.
Maybe because you guys are not, because you are not in good time with him.
No, I'm busy building a business empire, a security empire in Nigeria. I'm busy developing myself, developing an alternative to depending on the state government for existence. This is what I have advocated in the last interview. And I'm still saying it. And I'm still saying it.
For some people that watch the interview, some of them say, you are taking MAKAMA to a Friday and MAKAMA serious. That is never a serious person. He was with Wada. A day after Wada left, he was with Bello. And all he said about Wada was negative. And now he was with, he was part of those last election. And what he's saying now is not welcoming. And is not part of the government. You are never a stable person as a politician.
I challenge that.
Are you a stable person as a politician? No, the question is, are you a stable? No, The look, are you a stable?
No, you can't cajole me. You can't cajole me to an answer.
As a politician.
No, you can't cajole me to an answer. You cannot.
When you cannot,
you can't cajole me to an answer.
You are here. And the next
even a court of law, even a court of law,
a principle you are not there again.
Even a court of law will not cajole one to a statement.
Okay.
So this is a media house. I said I'm challenging that person to give you evidence of my instability. I am I'm one of the founding members of the APP that transformed to ANPP. I was a super youth leader.
Here we come again. We are with Prince Abuakar. A day after Prince Abuakar left, you became Ibro's first son.
You are not letting me
Ibro's first son. You are not
letting me explain myself. It's not true. Again, it's not true. Again, it's not true. I can prove myself. Let me put it to you, and I'm sure you are going to agree with me, that APP transformed to ANPP.
Yes.
I was the youth leader of APP that transformed to ANPP. And as the youth leader, I was a major target of the other political party that won election, which was PDP. I was with Prince Abuakar until he left Nigeria, leaving us, the party faithful, in trouble. And because we are in a conservative state, the traditional rulers prevail on me to join the PDP since it is still a leadership of another Igala man. I considered to that. And I joined Alhaji Ibrahim Idris. I did not just love Alhaji Ibrahim Idris to join him or because he became the governor. That is not true. If I have joined Alhaji Ibrahim Idris to love him and jump ship in the manner the person described, how many did Ibro-led government arrested me and took me to Kotonkrefi prison yard, and I was brought from awaiting trial to come and contest chairmanship, and Ibro made me chairman SA Youth Empowerment.
PDP took you?
Yes, it was the same PDP. Yes, it was the same PDP-led government by Alhaji Ibrahim Idris that arrested me, that took me to Kotonkrefi prison yard. I was brought from Kotonkrefi prison yard to contest chairmanship with the candidate of Humphrey Abba. I gave this explanation the other time.
Yeah.
And that was how Ibro now considered and said I should become SA Youth Empowerment. I didn't become just a boy that was in an automatic love with Ibro. It's not true. It's not true. It was Ibro who saw the potentials of Comrade Fridays and MAKAMA as at that time, that look, instead of us to continue to go into war, empowering the police and the military to go to Odolu every day spending money of government, let us bring him out of the prison. Let's negotiate peace. And it was in the course of that, Ibro said, okay, in his wisdom, do we organize the shadow primaries for you and Humphrey candidate? I say, Baba, you can go ahead. And already, the then Minister of Police Affairs, my senior brother Humphrey Abba, had already come with the delegates, with his own believers, his own supporters, his own fan, to come and do that primaries, shadow primaries. Yet, I told Alhaji Ibrahim Idris, you can go ahead, but please give me 1 hour to be able to campaign to those he brought. And I campaigned. Ibro gave us that 1 hour or 2 hours. And I campaigned to them. And at the end of the day, we came back for that shadow primaries. And I still led that primaries by 2 votes. That was why Ibro, as at that time as a governor of Kogi State, said, no, I cannot allow this election to go on. Let the candidate of Humphrey become the chairman of the local government, and I should become the SA Youth Empowerment. So did I just jump to climb Ibro? It's not true. And when Ibro government was to terminate, I was one of the frontliners of those who agitated that he must have a successor that is known to us and within our political party as a party man.
Okay.
I am one of the frontiers. In fact, I lead the struggle for Wada to become government.
Okay, you are now in the PC. And your APC.
Hold on. Let me narrow it to where you talk about Wada and Yaya Bello. Wada-led government was never having any issue, and I have never come out to the public to criticize Wada-led government. I have never. Instead, when the Galas came up with this Ebigweda Junior, I was one of those who championed the cause that the Gala should not shot itself on the foot. That Wada-led government cannot be Ebigweda Junior. I am not part of it. Now Eneke describe Ote Kumategbale half salary again to blackmail Wada. I was not one of them. I challenged that person to come up with evidence that I have ever spoken in the public against Wada-led government before I jumped to Yaya Bello. I did not even jump to Yaya Bello in the first place. I did not. Even while Alhaji Yaya Bello was the governor, and I gave you this narrative of what transpired when he was announced as the governor of Kogi State, I was in my political party all through.
Okay, now that you...
What led me to the camp to APC, I also explained here the last time I came here. What led me to the camp to APC was because of Modi, and I'm repeating again in case you have forgotten, and maybe that person talking has forgotten what I said, and maybe you edited that part out in the last interview, I don't know. So what I'm saying, I am still a bona fide member of the APC, and I still belong to GYB political family.
Okay, but do you believe that the said reconciliation, will you see it seeing the light of the day?
Well,
if it's genuine, like you said.
If it become holistic reconciliation, it may see holistic results.
Okay.
But if it is a holistic reconciliation, then you see a holistic result. But for now, I think the way it's going, you can see Edward paying visits to the family of our great man, late Prince Abakar. Those people are not anyway, they are part of the whole thing. You needed to also reconcile with them based on what the role he played over Faleke and not over Prince Abakar Audu and Faleke joint ticket. You needed to do that. But I think if it is not going to be realistic, then it should expand it to the genuine people that he has offended. The family of Achedu, Sister Miss Salome Achedu, they live in Abuja. If he can pay a visit to them, what stops him from paying a visit? I'm not talking of Edward paying me a visit because I don't need it. As far as I'm concerned, what I represent and what I want now is whatever can bring unity of our people. For us to be able to have a reputation for our tribe. That is what I want. He doesn't need to apologize to me.
And in the same
but sincerely, Edward needs to apologize to the family of Achedu.
Didn't you see yourself going to apologize to one or two persons?
Yes, of course. If anybody, if anybody says, "Look, I have offended,"
no, say you know who you have offended, that you go and reconcile with it. Okay, you want somebody to come and tell
like my brother Mori said that I first need to reconcile with my brothers.
Okay, he told you.
He told me, yes.
Recently?
He told somebody to tell me.
Okay.
And before he could even blink his eye, I'm already with my brothers.
You have reconciled with your
yes. Since.
So you relate. They embraced you.
Yes.
As a repented.
Well, however you put it, if it takes me to be on my knees for them, even on this studio, I'll do it. It doesn't matter to me.
A backslided MAKAMA, a freedom fighter that is turning to become an oppressor.
No, I've never been an oppressor, and I will not be oppressor for people like me.
I enjoying the part that you say, even if that will take you to go on your new year to do it.
Why not?
For this, I want to say you.
Why not? Why not? We have to do that. That is the only thing we can do now. This is what we can do now.
Thank you. So I think for next time we'll appreciate to have you here where we'll discuss more important issues as Kogi move on, and we hope to see a good reconciled Kogi state. And this program is set to be a gala program. Now you have turned it to become
Yes.
English.
And this program is set to be a gala program. Now you have turned it to become a
Yes.
English program.
We need it. We need it. We need more people. We need the dollars to come.
Yes.
We need the opens to come so that the potentials of an Igala man can be seen.
Thank you.
Yes, this is what we want now.
Thank you. So gbogbo yan ọjọ́ mu ne ka won ke sholoka ori mi ko Sunday atabora TV megro mi pa MAKAMA won ni ke sholoka mi we nu ko ke tin ke kola emi shubo ka en ne gbogbo yan mi baka podo en du bien chenki abu arauti channel manya kola maraura TV manya kola ichen kola alia maloti IT manya kola emi ngo won shubo ka kido pe manya kola de akene fremi akigale mi ni opopẹ ge na won ka kishi akishi duro mi ene igala mu da ne
ONOJA TV.